What's happening, fellow Segway riders? My name is Jason Andrew Sheldon, and you are watching the most comprehensive online Segway class available on the internet today. Also, at jasonandrewsheldon.com, we've got Segway alternatives and things like that. If you're interested in Segways, you want to talk to me. I'm just telling you, Segway Pioneer in your hands. So today what we're going to talk about is, we're going to talk about the differences between the i2 Segway and the Segway alternative, the field crawler. So yeah, pretty interesting stuff. Now I'm not going to go into too many differences, but I'm going to talk about some basic differences that are kind of game changers as far as differences, big differences. Alright, so first thing we're going to talk about, we're going to actually, that is of note is the tires. The tires on the field crawler are seriously huge. This machine was designed to be driven off-road slowly. So if you live on a farm and you have to do errands on a farm, this is the jam right here. Or if you live in the country, it doesn't cost hardly any money. It costs pennies to get from A to B as far as energy goes. Say goodbye to gasoline, and it's about a quarter of the price, or about a third of the price of a Segway. That's a big difference too. All right, let's talk about another difference. This kickstand right here. The field crawler comes with a kickstand. This is a monster of a kickstand. It will actually scratch the floor. It's pretty hefty. See that? The Segway i2 and the Segway X2, they don't come with kickstands. You have to order that add-on. And it costs extra money. This thing, it doesn't cost any extra money to have a kickstand come with it. Another big difference between the i2 Segway, the X2 Segway, and the field crawler is how you turn it on and off. Big difference. Now, the field crawler turns on and off with your basic key. You can make 10 copies of this key for a couple bucks at your local hardware store. The Segway turns on with this key right here. Now, what are the differences here? This key, as far as price goes, what are the differences? This key costs around $250 or $300 or something like that, and it runs on a battery. There's a battery on the inside, so you constantly have to change the batteries inside this. No battery. That's kind of cool, and we're used to keys like this. I mean, it makes sense. Now, as far as security goes, this key offers much more security than this key does. There's a lock function on the Segway, so whenever you park your Segway outside of a restaurant or something like that, you can just put it in lock mode, and an alarm will sound if someone messes with your Segway. The field crawler, no. But as far as security goes, the field crawler weighs 100 pounds. So it'll take a strong person just to pick it up and boss it into their truck, and they'll have to do it pretty quick. But if you're riding a field crawler around an urban area, which I don't really recommend, but if you do, you want to turn some heads, ride this thing down the sidewalk. But if you park outside of a restaurant, park it in front of the window so you can see it. Easy solution. Boom. This costs obviously not even it costs a sliver of the amount of money that this costs. And these things break, and the buttons wear out too, and that's kind of a pain. Not gonna lie. I'm sure that representatives from Segway would tell you the same thing. All right, another differences. Let me just grab this. I'm sorry if the camera's all shaky. I'm gonna do my best to keep it from shaking. Big difference. Now the way that the mud flap guards are positioned. The way they look is different. Now, you can see it's fairly sturdy, but it's not the most sturdiest thing that you've ever seen. But its function is to keep the mud from flipping up onto your legs. So it's functional. Also, it comes with this bar. Very sturdy bar. Now you'll see that some Segways come with that bar as well. You see the difference, the design of the bar? This one's a little less complex. If you wanted to, you probably could have some panels here set up, fabricated to carry more things. I'm thinking field crawler will roll some of those out sometime. Okay, more differences. Now, right here, the way you make it go forward, there's a button right there. Okay, I'm pressing it right now. Actually, there's a button right here. There's a button right there. There's a button right there. There's a button right there. Now, your feet have to be evenly distributed, evenly placed on those foot panels, when you lift up, when you press down on that button with your foot more, it tells the field crawler that you need to go forward, that it wants to go forward. So you can actually make it go forwards and backwards by lifting up the front of your foot, or pressing down the back, lifting up the front, pressing the front of your foot, lifting up the back. And you can make it go forwards and backwards like that. As a matter of fact, you've got to make it go forwards like that. On the Segway, it's more about distributing your weight forwards and backwards. This does operate on a weight distribution deal, but you can actually make it go forwards without really distributing your weight too much. And you can actually make it go forwards and backwards by turning the bar. We'll talk about that, field crawling riding techniques, at jasonandrewsheldon.com for more videos about that. But we're talking about differences right now. Okay, so you'll see that there's lights here. There's also lights on the, you see what happened when I turn on? There's also lights on the Segway. It looks a bit different. You see you've got your standard 2 lights here, and then you've got your 2 battery lights here. Now, when you first turn it on, what you see is, I don't know if you can see that or not. I can't see what you can see. Can you see the battery? There you go. When you turn it on, you can see how much battery there is. It's got an image, and it also has percentage. So kind of cool. You'll actually, as you ride it, that percentage will change because the computer is reading the battery as it goes. So it's kind of funky seeing that. Now, another thing. There's a button right here. This is one of my favorite things about the whole thing. This button right here. Oh, rear view lights, baby! Yes! And there's also headlights on this son of a gun. Yes. Not too bad. Not too bad. That's pretty slick. And what else? Now, whenever you first turn the field crawler on, it doesn't go straight into balance mode. It goes into balance mode once you press on one of those buttons and activate the foot panel. And another big difference. Another big difference is the bar. The bar is not as adjustable as a Segway bar is. You see that? Whenever it gets delivered to you, you got to put this bar on there, and you can't adjust the height as easily as you can adjust the height of a Segway bar. That's kind of a trade-off. Now let's talk about trade-offs while we're here. This video is about 7.5 minutes long, so I'm going to try to wrap it up. But let's talk about trade-offs right quick. The price of the field crawler is about 1/3 of the price of a Segway. And part of the reason why people aren't riding Segways as much as Dean Kamen, the designer of the Segway, intended, is because the price is too high. People want to ride Segways. They really do. Segway is blowing up the tour industry. It's created a niche in the tourism industry and just totally rejuvenated the industry. But they're too expensive for the average person to buy. So what we have here is we've got a more affordable version of a 2-wheeled self-balancing machine, but there are trade-offs. Trade-offs are different design features. In order for a company to be able to design a 2-wheeled self-balancing machine for less, they've got to figure out creative and innovative ways to decrease their overhead costs. And that's what's happening with this. It's a sturdy machine, and it can be dangerous if you don't treat it with respect. So there are trade-offs, and if you're a Segway fan, but you desperately want to ride a Segway, but you don't have the money for it, but you really want to have one, you want to commute on a green machine, self-balancing, and use this as a networking tool to develop a network of friends as well with this. It's a great networking tool. This may be a solution for you. So, my name is Jason Andrew Sheldon, and you are watching the most comprehensive online Segway tutorial and Segway alternative tutorial available in the United States of America. Segway Pioneer on your hands. If you want to learn more about Segways, go to jasonandrewsheldon.com. Check back for more field crawler videos on my website.